Installation of the Thermaltake Water 2.0 series starts with a little bit of prep work right outside the case. First, we're going to take our back plate. As you can see, 3 holes in each corner. The holes are marked for the correct LGA socket. Of course, AMD mounts are going to have only single hole and different back plate, but same concept. You can take your nut, which is going to go into the back plate, into the correct marked hole, and we'll push through. And give you your thread to screw into from the other side. Next, retaining ring is going to have the same type of procedure. You've got mounting clip, which goes in the bottom. Once again, they are marked on the ends with correct marking facing out, and top clip to hold them in will snap into place. Naturally, this will be repeated on all 4 corners. Next, I've also gone ahead and installed the front fan, and only the front fan, not the rear, onto the fin array and coil array, the radiator. It's going to make life a little bit easier once we get into the case. You're not going to want to try and be putting this on inside the case. You can, of course, but as I say, much easier to put it on first thing before you even begin the installation. Front fan only, not the rear. Simple 4 screws through the fan into the radiator. Our last preparation step, we're going to take the 4 screws that are going to go into the back plate through the retaining ring, and they are going to snap into the retaining ring right in place, which is going to hold them. And they will actually stay there. As you can see, they go through, they snap into place, and you're going to be able to screw them down. Phillips head in the middle, and a turn. Really nice, easy kit to work with. Moving inside the case, we're going to see just how easy this install is. As I say, the liquid cooling units often seem daunting as far as installation. People are often a little scared about it, but this is a really easy install. So we've done our prep work. First thing we're going to do, back plate. It's going to go around the rear of the case. There is included adhesive strips which you can put here to stick it to the rear if you like. Personally, I don't like things stuck to my motherboard. They leave a residue when you take them off, so I'm going to do it without the adhesive, and I'm just going to put the back plate into place around the back of the case. Once it's snapped in, you can see your threads coming through, and the retaining ring is going to go right up top into place, and you're just going to want to start the threads. You don't want to tighten it at this point. You just want to give the threads a little bit of a start, simply because you're actually going to need this loose to slide the pump underneath, turn it, then lock it into place. Next, we're going to get the pump installed. Simple procedure. We're going to use pre-applied TIM. So you can see the pump all the way around. It's a round piece. It is notched, as is the retaining ring. So it's actually going to slide into the retaining ring a little off center, turn, and click into place. You're going to have to pull up on the retaining ring a tiny bit. Get it into place, and just tighten it right down with the 4 thumb screws. These will actually stop. You should not need to use a tool for this because you're not going to be hulking these down. They're going to stop at their end point, providing even pressure on the CPU. And once it's completely tightened down, you're going to need to plug in your pump. Now, pump is not PWM. You can plug it into a CPU fan header or any chassis fan header. You could even plug it straight into a 4-pin Molex using a fan plug adapter. The important thing being, you cannot be using any type of fan control on the pump. It's got to be at full speed, full voltage. Now, I do happen to have 2 headers for CPU fan, so I'm going to use one for the CPU fans themselves. I'm going to use the second for the pump. But as I say, if you don't have 2 CPU fan headers, not going to be a big deal. You can use any chassis fan header, or as I say, go directly to your power supply. Mounting of the fin array and coil and fan assembly is actually another very simple process. First thing we're going to do, back fan is going to go into place in your case. In this case, I'm going to use the rear exhaust fan portion of the case, and 4 screws will go in just as if you were screwing in the fan, but these screws are actually longer, going to go all the way through, as you can see, and screw into the fin array. We get 2 up. Very important, you face your fans the correct direction. You want them both blowing exhaust. You want a push-pull. Turning your fans around, you're going to wind up blowing air either into the case, which in some cases may get you better results as far as cooling, but what you don't want to do is have the fans blowing into each other or away from each other. So it's important to properly orient the fans. So we're going to get that into place, and we'll just start threading the screws right into the radiator. You are working, of course, a tiny bit blind here, but line them up and they'll go right in. Naturally, all 4 screws need to go in to tighten it up. So with everything in place, last step is going to be just simply plug your fans into the Y adapter. And you're all set. You can of course clean up the wiring, route it any way you like, but big thing being, as you can see, takes up very, very little room in the case. It's kind of like having, 2.5 or 3 rear exhaust fans, but really no other room taken up. Your hosing really doesn't take up much room. Pump takes up absolutely nothing at all. As you can see, it doesn't block up the ram slots in any way, shape, or form. That's going to give you the ability to use any height ram you want. So if you're going to use Corsair Vengeance, you don't need to ask, it's going to fit. Just any ram you want is going to fit there. So really a clean, simple install for the Water 2.0 series. Thermaltake actually took the existing install kits we've seen and made it better. Thermaltake's made some great install kits along the way, and this is another one. It was very, very easy to put in. It's in there very solidly, and good looking unit to boot. As you can see, you've got Thermaltake Water 2.0 logo right on there. That is not glowing or anything of that nature, just a static logo. Really good looking kit once it's installed.